Hello my Sunshine fam, welcome back to another Presidential Highlights video. If you're new, welcome. Please hit that subscribe button below, it would really help me out a lot. Like, comment, share, all that stuff. So today we are moving forward in our presidents. We are now on president number 34, which was Dwight D Eisenhower. He served from 1953 to 1961, and his vice president was Richard Nixon, believe it or not. Now this is going to be a two-parter because there's a lot that happened during his presidency. So this is his first term in office. Here's a picture of what he looked like. I thought he was from Minnesota, but he actually was born in Texas. So, a little trivia for you. Okay, so 1953, January 20th, Eisenhower was inaugurated. January 27th, Ralph Ellison awarded. He was the author who wrote Invisible Man. He wins the National Book Award. Time magazine called the book the quintessential American picaresque of the 20th century. March 5th, Stalin dies. The Soviet Union makes the announcement, and he suffered a stroke at the age of 74. Now, in case you think that I meant picturesque, it's not that word. It's picaresque. March 17th, price controls lifted. It was officially ended by the Office of Price Stabilization, and if you remember, there was a price control during World War II. April 1st, Department of Health, Education, and Welfare was created by a joint congressional action. April 16th, Eisenhower gives Chance for Peace speech. It was also known as the Cross of Iron speech. He gave it to American Society of Newspaper Editors, and he spoke against increased military spending. May 22nd, Submerged Lands Act. It allows states to submerge navigable lands in their borders to create waterways like rivers. June 19th, Rosenberg Execution. Now, if you're trying to remember where you might have heard the word Rosenberg before, it was in the Billy Joel song, We Didn't Start the Fire. Of course, I've also talked about this in previous presidential highlight videos. Julius and Ethel Rosenberg were executed. They were convicted of conspiracy to commit espionage because they passed information to the Soviet Union about the atomic bomb. July 26th, Eisenhower announces Korean armistice. The armistice means a truce for a certain period of time. I looked it up. August 1st, Social Security coverage increase. Eisenhower suggests provisions to cover more than 10 million additional Americans. August 7th, the Refugee Relief Act of 1953. It admits 214,000 more immigrants than previously allowed. August 19th, Iranians overthrow Mossadegh. And it includes the backing of the CIA. It overthrows the government of Prime Minister Mohammad Mossadegh. It ensures Mohammad Reza Shah Pahlavi's hold. I cannot pronounce these foreign words, so please don't butcher me for that. September 10th, Secretary of Labor resigns. Martin Durkin was the Secretary of Labor, and it was to protest failed Eisenhower administration proposing amendments to the Taft-Hartley Act. September 30th, Eisenhower appoints Earl Warren. He is now the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court at that time. October 8th, the Soviets test the H-bomb, or the hydrogen bomb. December 8th, Eisenhower, he was known as Ike, gives the Atoms for Peace speech. I can't talk today. To the UN General Assembly in New York. There was growing international awareness for potential peaceful uses for atomic energy. 1954, January 11th, Ike sends a special message. He asks Congress for changes in the Taft-Hartley labor law. March 8th, U.S. and Japan agree on rearmament, the defense agreement to slowly and partially rearm Japan. April 23rd, McCarthy hearings begin. For 2 months, Army McCarthy to resolve conflict between U.S. Army and Senator Joseph McCarthy. He was anti-communist. May 7th, France surrenders to Dien Bien Phu, another reference to we didn't start the fire, to the Viet Minh, not Vietnam. May 13th, Ike signs the Wiley-Dander Seaway Act. It's created jointly with Canada the St. Lawrence Seaway Canal, Lock, and River System. It allows water to flow from the Atlantic to the Great Lakes. May 17th, Brown versus the Topeka Board of Education. The Supreme Court rules that racial segregation in public schools is unconstitutional. So now we're moving towards desegregation. June 18th, Guatemalan Guzman Group. The CIA sponsored it, and it overthrows the government of Jacobo Arbenz Guzman. July 11th, the first White Citizens Council, organized in Indiana, Mississippi. It opposes integration of schools and public spaces and promotes white supremacy. Not a good thing. July 21st, Geneva Agreements of 1954, also known as the Geneva Accords. It withdraws French troops from the region. It establishes a ceasefire and partition of Vietnam, ending the First Indochina War, but the U.S. refuses to sign it. September 8th, U.S. signs SEATO, S-E-A-T-O, which stands for Southeast Asian Treaty Organization. 7 other nations also sign it, and it prevents communism in Southeast Asia. November 2nd, Democrats gain seats, in both houses of Congress. Sorry, I'm going to divider here in my notebook. Okay. December 2nd, U.S.-Taiwan sign Mutual Defenses Pact, and on the same day, McCarthy is censured. The Senate votes to censure the Republican from Wisconsin, which was McCarthy. 1955, January 10th, Chinese Communists versus Nationalists. Communist Air Force raid the National Chechen Islands and seize Ichang Island. Again, please don't come down hard on me if I'm pronouncing these names wrong. Butchering might not be the right word to say. January 19th, the first filming of a press conference. January 21st, Ike meets Dulles and Wilson. Now remember, Dulles is the Secretary of State John Dulles, and that's what the airport in Washington, D.C. is named after, and the Secretary of Defense Charles Wilson. They discuss resolving authorization that the U.S. defense of Taiwan and Pescadores, and Congress approves it on January 28th. Also on that, I also put in here that the Dulles Airport was named after John. Maybe I haven't mentioned that before, but I did now. March 16th, atomic potential against China. The U.S. would use an atomic bomb if there was a war with China. April 11th, Roy Wilkins, Executive Secretary of the NAACP. He succeeds Walter White. May 31st, Brown II. It speeds integration, and the Supreme Court orders schools to integrate. July 12th, Geneva won't be Yalta. Ike tells Congress leaders that Geneva Conference won't have a controversy like Yalta's like the Yalta Conference. Yalta. Y-A-L-T-A. Yalta. July 18th, the Geneva Conference opens. Britain, France, USSR, and the U.S. heads attend. It's the first meeting of the Big Four since World War II. It inaugurates a new, more peaceful phase of the Cold War. July 21st, Eisenhower's Open Skies. He calls for the U.S. and Soviet Union to share maps of military installments, but it was not accepted. July 29th, U.S. announces artificial satellites, scheduled for launch in 1957. Remember that. August 28th, Emmett Till was lynched in Mississippi. Now, I looked up the information about this, and this is a horrible thing that happened to him. He was a 14-year-old boy who was kidnapped and murdered in Money, Mississippi. Carolyn Bryant claims that Till whistled at her in a grocery store. So she has her husband Roy and his half-brother kidnapped and killed Emmett Till. His body was found 3 days later in the Tallahatchie River, and it was racially motivated violence. If you want to know more information about that, you can certainly look it up online. I really don't want to put it in a video. It was very horrific what they did to him. There are actually pictures of Till in his coffin too, so you can see if you want to see it. It's very graphic. September 24th, Eisenhower suffers a heart attack. It was a moderate one in Denver, Colorado. October 10th, Autherine Lucy integrates the University of Alabama. The Supreme Court orders her to be admitted, and I believe she was a black student. November 15th, Adlai Stevenson announces the run. Now, I know I have said his name a number of times before. So he announces that he's going to run for president in 1956. November 25th, ICC bans segregated transportation. ICC stands for Interstate Commerce Commission. It bans racial segregation on buses and trains. Now remember that, because there's something coming up I know that you've heard about, which is the next thing. December 1st, Parks takes a stand. Rosa Parks, 42, was arrested in Montgomery, Alabama. She won't give up her seat to a white passenger on the bus, and the bus boycott lasts more than a year. Now, I have looked up information about Abraham Lincoln's chair that he died in, or that he was shot in. At the Henry Ford Museum, there is a video of this. I'm sure many videos, but I've seen it on this one guy's video. They actually show the actual bus that Rosa Parks sat in, and they have people that you can actually get on the bus and sit on the seat that she would not give up on the bus. So you might want to check that out. You just have to type in Henry Ford Museum, and you'll see they've got all sorts of stuff in there. So it might be a video you might be interested in. December 5th, the Afl-Cio Merger. The American Federation of Labor and Congress of Industrial Organizations merged together. December 26th, Eisenhower pushes post on Nixon. He tries to persuade Nixon not to run for vice president, but to take a cabinet post instead. 1956, January 30th, Autherine Lucy is officially admitted to the University of Alabama. February 22nd, peaceful atomic purposes. Ike releases $1 billion worth of uranium-235. February 29th, Eisenhower announces run for a second presidential term. March 12th, supremacy in the legislature. 19 white senators and 81 white representatives sign Southern Manifesto. It promises to use all lawful means to resist racial integration and overturn the Brown desegregation decision. April 9th, Eisenhower pushes Nixon again urging him to take a cabinet post. April 25th, Eisenhower and Nixon ticket. Ike announces Nixon as his vice president in 1956. I'm confused on that one, but okay, maybe you were too. May 31st, the U-2 is approved, not the band. They are spy flights over the Soviet Union. June 4th, Browder versus Gale. 3-judge district court rules that bus segregation in Montgomery is unconstitutional. June 29th, the Federal Highway Act. It provides federal funding to build interstate highways for transportation and national defense. July 26th, Nasser nationalizes the Suez Canal, and we're not talking Larry Nasser. Egyptian President Gamal Abdel Nasser is who we're talking about. August 1st, Social Security Act of 1956. It permits women to retire at 65 and disabled workers at 50. The same day, the polio vaccine reaches the open market. Recently discovered, the Salk polio vaccine is sold. August 17th, the Democrats nominate Stevenson. Adlai Stevenson was nominated for president. Nowadays, as we're getting closer, they're not announcing who the vice president is going to be. August 21st, Republicans nominate Eisenhower. September 29th, Ike appoints Brennan, William J. Brennan, to the Supreme Court. October 22nd, Hungarian Revolution begins, also known as the Hungarian Uprising of 1956. The revolt is against Soviet policies of Communist Hungarian People's Republic, and it ends on November 10th. October 31st, Israel, Britain, and France attack Egypt. Eisenhower condemns the attack. November 4th, the Soviet Union crushes Hungarian uprising. November 5th, a ceasefire in Egypt. November 6th, Eisenhower is reelected. He wins by 9 million votes. Congress remains Democratic. November 13th, the Supreme Court backs Browder. It deems segregation on buses unconstitutional. I thought it's already been deemed that way, but okay. December 20th, the bus boycott success. It ends in Montgomery. 1957, just the beginning of it, January 5th, Eisenhower Doctrine, quote unquote. It's regarding defense of the Middle East. January 6th, Elvis Presley on the Ed Sullivan Show. It was his third appearance. The network thinks his dancing is too lewd, so it only shows him from the waist up. So part 2 will start in 1957, which is his second term of office. So I hope that you guys are enjoying these. Please make sure that you read my descriptions below, because I do put information in there as well regarding different things about the presidents and what's been going on in my life and stuff. So please read my descriptions as well if you are not doing so. And please comment. I've been noticing that I'm not getting very many views anymore. I don't know if you guys are getting tired of these. If you just don't have any comments or whatever it is. I know that everybody's getting kind of busy now that things are going back to normal with the COVID thing, but comments really do help me, please. So please comment, please likes help me. Subscribe, share, so that I can get more subscribers, because that also helps me grow my channel. Sorry to sound like I'm pleading with you guys, but I really kind of want my channel to grow. I will be doing some Adventures with Chloe videos coming up soon too, so I'll be watching for those. And so at this point, I'm just going to go ahead and let you go before my time runs out. And so class is dismissed. You guys have a sunny day. We'll see you on the next one.